Welcome to Barbarian Vince, the solitaire card adventure. Discover your hero's journey. As your father rides off into the sunset, you, Vincent the Barbarian, look upon the city of Ulendi, with which you used to trade under your father's stern eye. Now you are of age and must seek your fortune alone. What sort of adventures will you have? How many wolves will you kill? There are a lot of wolves. So 150 encounters, 54 cards, 3 overarching story arcs, character advancements, maps, items, random numbers, and 4 mysterious white dots. Okay. So as we unbox the video, you get a nice rulebook. This is all print and play, of course. So as you can see, it's mountainside structure. You must manage 3 sets of cards during play: the draw deck, the main deck of the cards that you draw encounters, and ready hand and exhausted hand. And there is more to that, because well, the last card should be 1 year has passed. These are stories. You can safely take out the map cards. And as you discover the land, no, you don't. The map cards also have a random number, so this should be in the draw deck and pretty well shuffled. There are X and Z cards. X is for the main quest, like X9. So spoilers ahead, I guess. The top of the ancient, well, it's not really a spoiler. I mean, you have no idea how to get there. The top of the ancient tower arcs with lightning and power. Terrible magics are being wielded within. And if you don't have the rod of power, then as you approach the tower, a shield of magic repels you and you cannot enter. You remain outside the tower instead. Play an A+2 or O encounter. If you do have the rod of power, then you can push through the barrier, and then you have survival checks, etc. So shuffle these cards, and I guess that if you have, if you drew a card to perform a skill check, and it is a map card, then you don't discard it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to enter, which would be a problem. The game is, the victory conditions are you have to, I think you can play as long as you like, but the 1 year has passed. Maybe it tells you something. Resolve the current encounter, then shuffle the deck and put this card to the bottom if you aren't. And your first, second year, third, fourth, fifth year, and beyond. So you can play for as long as you like. That's nice. Okay. Rulebook isn't very clear. about how to enter a location. That's why I quit playing the game. So I think we can just play like so. This is the one here has passed, and so you have to discard under the rest. These are discarded. I'm not yet in the Western Desert. There is an expansion, by the way. It's made by some guy, and it is available from Board Game Geek, and it's pretty poorly written. There were a lot of comments on it, and he finally made something decent, but not with the beautiful artwork. And Barbarian Vince was actually made for by Rocco, and he made it for a friend so he could play it in the subway. That's a nice tidbit of information. So we start here with the player card and welcome to Ulendi. In Ulendi we go to the boat to Bridgewater. That is a 7+. Let me zoom in a little for maximum immersion. So it's a 7+ and a V. A V means that the area around it, as you approach, is a certain type of encounter. And the 7+ means that you can, you can, when you're always in a location. That's one, and then you can stay in a location for the next turn, or you can travel to a different location. If you travel to a different location, then the target location is what you need to check for. And if you travel to a different location, then you cannot lay low, but you have to take an encounter. So the red dots is the encounter. The result of an encounter can be that you can pass, or you are kicked back at your original location. So the rules don't make that clear. And the 7+ is for if you stay in a location and you lay low. Even if you stay in a location, you can get encounters, and if you fail your lay low, then you can travel or not, and then you rest. And if you travel, you cannot lay low, but you have to do the encounter. So staying in a city is a chance for an encounter, and going to a different location is a security of an encounter. Well, certainty. Alright, then you don't want to burn through the deck, this deck, because encounters gets somewhat harder. For example, at the end of year 2, all encounters are +1 to a random draw. That means that on the set of things that you can encounter like so, the easy ones are in the top, and they become progressively harder as you go down, and more risky. So you are more likely to get more risky things, and the further into the years you get. Okay, we start with a common provisions and supplies. We start with the game always with one item that is in our hand. Then this this card is. Okay, whatever. So we select to go, and the area that you exit from, 8 plus x0 UG, don't matter right now. And the x0 means that it's the 0th part of the main story, denoted by X. So we go to Bridgewater, and we are certain of an encounter, because we cannot lay low. So first I draw a random card, and I look at the digit. So it's 8, and then I draw a card that is of the type V, and this can mean that we burn through the deck. Actually, I don't think I would ever play like that, because the location, so I'm not going to discard those cards, because you would burn through the deck without any regard to your skill. I don't think that is fair. So I drew a V. Okay, so right before I enter Bridgewater, I yeah, but that also doesn't make sense, because what is the 7 plus then? Oh yeah, so the bracket thing is when you stay in the area. Yeah, you have to beat the number or for quietly resting, otherwise you will have to battle. So the 7 plus doesn't do anything here, it's just a V. Now, village. Instead of selecting randomly, choose one of the following. V. It is a V. Werewolf. A villager has gone missing during the full moon. You helped in the efforts to find him. Or locked church. The church in the village has been locked by the drunken town friar. Can you help open it? Unlock disarm check. Or brigands. The village is regularly attacked by brigands. The villagers implore you to help. They come tonight. Yeah, so you have a choice. My skills are all 0. Unlock disarm 0, combat 0, height 0. So actually a height check of 9 plus. Okay, let's try that. We might become cursed. So why did I draw the card then to check? Yeah, I drew this card then. So I drew an 8. He's not found, howling is heard. That's the end. That was the encounter. So I am now at Bridgewater, and I can do things at Bridgewater. So, where is Bridgewater? I think I have to search for the deck then. Bridgewater. Okay, so there is no Bridgewater. What do we do then? Travel there and remain the night, then return to Ulendi. That's everything we have to do. So, we travel there, we spend the night. During the night, we rest, we recover to We store up to our current recovery skill worth of cards. Back to ready hands. The ready hand is just the provision and supplies. If you successfully lay low now, if you trade, I can trade in a village to discard 2 or more cards, but I only have 1. When in a city CG you may discard 4 or more cards, don't have it, then discard. You may also deliberately discard as many cards as you wish. Okay. And then I travel back to Ulendi, and because I travel, I went there, and that was my turn, and in my turn I did rest. I think spend the night means perform a rest, and then we go back to Ulendi, and we are certain of an encounter, and it is a X0 G. Or a U. I'm not sure now if I go back to Ulendi. Can I use this card for the bottom part, or can I do I have to discard it? If I discard it, then I don't know what the reward is, so I keep this card, but I have to draw UG. Okay, and I think you have to burn through the deck. So it is a board. Yeah. Then I draw a card for the check. I drew a 12, which means 1 to 4, Captain's Wife, 5 to 7, Pirate Defense, 8 to 9, Storm Season, 10, 11, Sea Festival. There is no 12, so nothing happens. Then I completed the mission, so I get rewarded with an item of common value. And I found a steel shield, which is combat +1. So I put it in my hands. I have now 2 items. Then, because this is a main quest thing, I put it aside, which makes the most sense for me. I now go travel to the Red Harbor. So I first go to a UC location. Yeah. So, but this is not an. Oh yeah. So the GC is the bottom part. You find a decent inn and spend the night drinking and singing. The city is alight with rumors of evil brewing in the greylands to the north, lands under perpetual shadow. Only one carrying a glowing relic can safely see safely there. Yeah, so I rest. There's nothing to do except to get rid of my steel shield by trading during the rest phase, which I'm not going to do. Next day I'm going to the flatlands. So I look for a PO. It's pretty tricky because you're looking normally at top right cards, but actually the O is on the bottom. For yeah, so okay. So if it's an X, check the bottom part. While approaching the flatlands, I walk through a manageable weather, no encounters. Right now, you could only use some company, maybe even your friend, the wizard Kosterix. He's probably locked himself away in that spire of his along the eastern shore. That's it, and now I am at the flatlands, and I could rest there to progress the story, or just move on. And now you would like a map to see where you actually want to go. And there was something about Xidlim's Tower, and to get there we would have to travel through Stonefoot. So that would be the north location. So we are looking for a map called 4. I'm first going to walk through the discards, and I find here map 4, and I put it on top, and we go to Stonefoot. Now Stonefoot has a G and a C plus 1. Because we travel, we don't lay low, we just go look for a G or a C. G or C, 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 C. Okay. Rough City. Yeah, so the C plus 1, something will happen according to what I draw, and what I draw is 1, and plus 1, because of this plus 1, right? So it's a 2. Pickpockets. A pickpocket slips through your purse. Unlock disarm check. Yeah, so we draw a card, and we drew 5 for this pickpocketing, being pickpocketed event. 5 means he takes nothing. Okay. Because our unlock disarm skill is 0. Okay. Yeah, so that's what happens. Nothing much. I don't know how to progress through the main story, because we didn't really... I don't know exactly. So we just move on. We go from Stonefoot to Xidlim's Tower. Xidlim's Tower, so travel, no lay low stuff. We just look for X1, and that's, I guess, how you get through the main story. X1, X1, X1. And it's also much nicer because now we're actually getting somewhere. So I'm sticking with those rules. Yeah, X1. Okay, at arrival nearby Xidlim's Tower, you stop at Xidlim's Tower, looking for information and shelter. Your friend, the wizard Kosterix, who used to visit your town, hasn't been seen for many moons, and you are worried. Xidlim, a minor wizard, is reluctant to help and, like most wizards, resents having his privacy violated. If you give him this card, an item card, he will allow you to stay on rest and you will restore any exhausted cards. I don't need to restore cards because I didn't use them. If you demand information, he costs a glamour. Random draw 10 plus. So I don't really need him to just want to talk to him. So I draw a card and it's a 9. That's random draw 10 plus, so it's a failure. Exhaust the card and you are returned to your previous location. However, if you ever return, add +1 to your random draw for the glamour. Add 1 for each try. Success, draw 1 common item, and okay, so get lost with the provisions and supplies. And we go back to Stonefoot. We got kicked out. Okay, upon arrival at Stonefoot, we draw either a G or a C plus, and C plus. Yeah, this is a great game, I think. C plus, GC plus, GC plus, GC plus, GC plus. 1 year has passed. Okay. This is the moment when you should take a die and write and set its value to 1. I'll just denote it with a pencil here, if the pencil works. Right. After 1 year has passed, we take all the cards, give them a nice little shuffle, and we are still looking for. So thematically the road through Stonefoot, I lost my way and it was hard to find, and took forever, and I found some supplies, because I don't understand the food thing, but apparently you can do stuff without eating. So again, G or C, 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 G or C. There are not many G or C cards, that's for sure. Nope. See, Rough City again.